was atrocious, right, as government. So why is it now that they're concerned when the party is an opposition?
Year actually, no, at least 1 year now, since the PNP's defeat, that it has gotten increasingly worse. And I get the feeling that it is an increasingly common perspective being held by many Jamaicans that the PNP is really regressing. I mean, what new ideas would have come out of the party over the last 9 or 10 months? Anything substantial that we could debate on, look at tonight?
There's nothing that has put forward, neighbor. Their best bet was that national budget debate, and of course we know all members failed, right? And failed miserably too. But this shows that they aren't a party coming from 2020 that was ever built on let's tackle the people's issue from a policy level. They never incorporated that when they were rebuilding. In fact, I'd want to go as far as to say, bear in mind what happened in 2020. Mark coming to be the leader was technically a band-aid over the wound.
Yes.
It was a patchwork done to get ready for this election. It wasn't any deep introspection when it comes on to how do we move forward.
Or any new idea.
Anything. In fact, as Abraham's put it, they're in an echo chamber. They are oblivious to what is happening in the reality of Jamaicans and the real Jamaica. They're so caught up within themselves that everything they say, it just bounces back to them and they think they are right. In fact, the People's National Party at this current moment as an opposition is in a delusional state.
Yes.
Because when you look at it, neighbor, and I'm speaking specifically as well to Mark Golding as a leader, when you now run on the ticket of integrity and every action you've taken thereafter the election is something that erodes that, I don't want to say that picture of integrity, because you hide yourself behind this idea. And every action you've taken that people can judge on, that people can see, slowly rips away the farce that you placed. It says something about you as a leader. And the things you've embraced not only reduces the idea that you're a leader, but it shows that you know not what you're doing and that the party is in a frenzy right now. There's no true leader and proper leadership as it stands. You may have that specific group, right, the risers, separate from the other members who are running and so on. So it is really a disjointed party, and we're seeing it based on the comments every single time, whether it be persons from the New Breed speak, whether it be from Mark Golding speak, and or people from the NEC. They're all singing different tunes and nobody knows who is the leader.
Yeah, let's move you on, Harry. Damian Crawford. Before I get to him, Miss Duncan Sutherland is suggesting that the 600,000 Jamaicans be given 1/8 of an acre of the land in Jamaica as a start. Harry, what can go so?
You know what's funny about that, neighbor? It's coming from somebody who is at an age would have seen a lot and sat on her laurels for such a very long time. And to be putting out a statement of hypocrisy, because I'm calling it what it is. There's no prettying it up. She's doing it not to save political or to score political points, but to save political face, neighbor.
Oh,
right? It is out of desperation to also be relevant to what is happening and a cover up. Because if we're to examine it, the political party that benefits more from improper housing, illegal settlement in Jamaica has always been the People's National Party. It is no secret, right? It is known. And when you look at it, neighbor, they had the chance, the best chance in Jamaica's history in that
Yes.
18 and a half years to properly at least initiate a successive aspect of policy that drives reformation, land reformation. They had it. In fact, they have gone to a level, even in the modern day Jamaica, let's say the 2000s, when they won that 42 seat, neighbor, they had the 2/3 majority to even start it again. And Miss Duncan Sutherland has always been a part of the People's National Party. They're engraved in that party. They're proud of being a part of the People's National Party, right? And they did not see it fit then. They didn't see it fit in the 2000s. And now, when they are politically irrelevant and not viable, they're seeing everything that's wrong. And the idea is to give out land. Well, let's start with what you own, Mrs. Sutherland. Because we would want to know, when you go ahead and make this suggestion, which is irresponsible, by the way, very irresponsible, because you cannot.
Where would we find 600,000 parcels of land to give 1/8 of an acre to 600? Harry, you know this thing more than I do. What would that do to Jamaica and to Crown lands in Jamaica, and what would it do to the people? Because I'm sure that these people would probably just sell the piece of land to get some money.
Neighbor, it would the economic backlash that will have, right, on the government, because understand this, to regularize these people will cost money.
Yeah, because you can't just give them the land, you would have to give them infrastructure on the land.
Exactly. You have to put in the basic amenities that are required, which is access to sewage,
roads,
access to running water, and everything that is there. And also have to ensure that you don't infringe on any future development areas.
I want you to say that again, Harry. So it's not about cutting off 1/4 acre land and give to somebody. You can't just give a man a piece of land, because what does that do to the person? You don't have to put in the infrastructure in there, which would cost. Can we finance that really?
Neighbor, if my memory serves me well, I believe the Prime Minister said in and around a figure of $900 billion. Somebody can fact check me on that and give me the exact figure. Where in Jamaica are we going to get that money? Right? And when you look at it, these things in a neighbor comes at such hefty economic cost. And I'm going to put it to everybody, even those who are listening to the diaspora.
Yes.
The cost that it's going to come with means an increase in taxation. And I'm going to break down one specific tax. Which one of us here, including you, neighbor, is willing to move to pay an increased GCT from 15% thereabout to 25 or more?
Are you saying to me that if the government executes a policy of giving 600,000 people in Jamaica 1/8 of an acre of land, that taxes would be increased?
Inevitably, has to.
What you saying to me, Harry?
Neighbor, the government has to find the money somewhere, and
not to give the land, but to put in the infrastructure.
Just to put in the basic structure, neighbor, right? Just to ensure that you give these people the resources to know. Let's say everybody's going to build something on the land, right? When you look at it, who and which Jamaican economy in the history of Jamaica can foot that bill? Let's be realistic. 64 years of Jamaica.
Oh God.
Under which government, under which economy could we have sustained and even attempt to do such thing? I'd love to ask Mrs. Duncan Sutherland that question. Who?
So with the best of intentions, Harry, this is just an impossible task for the government to do. It's not as simple as just cutting up land and giving people.
It's not as simple as they put it. And that is the idea they sell these people.
Oh,
the
God.
same way how they sell coupon spend people a lie. The People's National Party know how to package these lies.
And give out certificates of land ownership, and the certificates don't even work toilet paper.
In the neighbor, the print. Go ahead, Molly.
Harry, please. Chantal, can you mute, please? Chantal, please mute.
We can mute her. Here. Let me mute her here. Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Harry.
Neighbor, these are the hidden costs, the reality of the situation that the People's National Party has spent its entire existence on hiding from the Jamaican people.
I want you to repeat that for the listeners, Harry. People are joining us all the time. It's very important. This is an educational class, as a master class, even for me. You are saying to me that the proposal coming from Miss Duncan Sutherland, that the government of Jamaica cut up the land and give it to 600 people, that if that ever happened in Jamaica, we all will see rate increase in taxes.
Of course, it has to, because the money has to come from somewhere, neighbor. I see electoral squad say Mrs. Duncan Sutherland shares in JMB can finance the purchase of the land. It still can't electoral. There's a lot more to it than that. But with the utterance and the statement that she's made, neighbor, it is very irresponsible.
You think it's very irresponsible?
It is, neighbor. It is at one of the highest level of irresponsible. When you look in a neighbor, because if you're supposed to have Mrs. Duncan Sutherland tonight on the program,
my God,
and you get to ask her that one question: how do we foot the bill? She cannot tell you. And it's a very vital part of the statement that is put forward. You cannot put something like that forward, neighbor, and have no clue how you're going to achieve it. And that's what the People's National Party has always done. And I can go back to their manifesto. How do they put the $3.5 million threshold? How are they going to ensure one degree per household? How are they going to determine it? How are they going to give free housing? These are the things they've always done. And people run and buy it, neighbor, because we weren't in terms of intelligent enough and have the knowledge access enough to question these things, and we see it in modern day.
So it just sound good. But even if the PNP were in government, it could not happen. That's what you're saying to me.
It couldn't, neighbor. It couldn't. And this is a situation about bureaucracy and having the technocrats. It's not even there. We haven't even reached there yet. It is just how you are attempting to properly put out a plan for something you want to achieve. It's almost utopic. That's how they put it forward, neighbor, as if money is there and resources are there to do it. Even if we didn't have Melissa, which took away 56% of our GDP, even without that, neighbor,
and with an economy that is contracting even now, Harry, it makes matters even worse.
Extremely worse. Neighbor, we are in a global setting, right, where we heavily depend as to what happened around the rest of the world to determine how we develop, how we live our lives, what is our daily spend, and how the government governs in the best interest of Jamaicans, those locally and in the diaspora. It is not a simple task. And when they come up and make these utterances, neighbor, being so irresponsible for somebody who should know better, because I'm not putting it beyond her, she knows better, neighbor. You think she don't know saying that make no sense? She knows.
I wonder.
And when you look at these things, it is again appealing to gullible and naive and ignorant Jamaicans. And that, for me, as somebody who aspires, neighbor, as her, I believe she ran 2 or 3 times. She aspires to be a political representative and to sit in her executive of government help be one of those legislators that lead Jamaica, I think she needs to wheel and come again and to learn how to be responsible with her statements. And it's not too late for her to learn if she doesn't know, neighbor. We learn every day.
But the man who aspires to lead the party, Mr. Damian Crawford, it was no better, sir. You heard what he said in his presentation, Crawford.
I heard part of his statements.
Yeah, well, what he was saying is that if the PNP were in power, more people would get more land. He's not far off from what Miss Crawford is saying. Isn't Damian Crawford very disappointing, Harry? You would have thought that Crawford would know some of what you are talking about there. He's a mathematician.
Of course he knows. He knows, but guess the thing, neighbor. When people from the party make these utterances and they may not have run it by him or they may not hold him to the level that he thinks he should be held, then he uses it as a stepping stone because that makes him look better. Right? So it is really a situation, even with him and his utterance name. I believe he mentioned Loydalsville.
Yes.
I think Mr. Crawford needs to tread very careful. Very careful, because he's still pretty new to Northwest St. Catherine. And if he knows what I know, he treads very careful on that path. Because, neighbor, Loydalsville for over 35 years have voted one way.
Oh.
And that is for the People's National Party. They've only voted one way. And for 35 years of different representatives from the People's National Party, you are today speaking about reformation and land ownership for Loydalsville. You should be ashamed of yourself. Neighbor, it was a strategy used by the People's National Party. You have an area as well, same Northwest, right? I believe it was Jack Stevens who was a pioneer of it. You have an area called Charlie Mount Housing Scheme, the back of it, the farmland of it. That was set out to give people land. Neighbor, when me get big, some people get one title for the land. A lot of people there, for generations, don't own it. It's a farmland. And that area is Mr. Crawford's and the People's National Party stronghold in Northwest. Neighbor, when ballot boxer come from that area, you know you lose.
Oh my God. Solid PNP.
So they can't speak. He himself can't speak. Bobby Pickersgill can't speak on that. And anybody else who ran before it. Because they created these areas. That is their benefit. Improper settlements, illegal settlements, is the bread and butter.
Politics for the PNP.
That fed the People's National Party.
Oh God.
That is the reality, neighbor. The People's National Party had no incentive to correct it. None. Because why would I change it if I can turn up every 5 years and say, hey, remember, we still have work on the title. You come born, your mother see it, you come see your grandmother wait for the title, you come build something on it, and none of them own it. Generations pass through it, and guess what? All for political assurances when it comes to election time. And they can't deny it. It is right there. So when they come and speak on these things, neighbor, and that's why I sent the warning, he himself, based on his constituency, should tread very carefully. Right? And the People's National Party overall should do so. You know, one of the things, as I'm not saying the Jamaica Labour Party may not have areas where people, vote for them.
Absolutely.
In that area. But when you look at the magnitude and the state of the living, neighbor, of these people, I grew up hearing about the same thing you spoke about with the defecating bags and throw it.
Yeah.
I grew up hearing it. My father told every time I come at town, neighbor, if I come at town in 6 times when I was growing up, my father, when driving through where Portia Simpson Square was, right? It's one thing we know me here is that. And it never left me.
Parachute. You must look out for the parachute.
Neighbor, it was the go-to for them. So much that when I used to think of the McGregor Gully was the only thing that came to mind.
Oh my God.
I used to run jokes say at that block up the gully. And that was the fertilizer for the big trees that I did in the gully when I grew up.
Oh gosh.
That is how serious it is, neighbor.
Defecation, block
So
up the gully.
Party, of course,
Uh-huh.
the People's Party should be ashamed.
With fertilizer.
There are few things they should never ever speak on.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Housing.
Yes. And then they mention Operation Pride. Operation Shame.
Neighbor,
Uh-huh.
it better them keep their mouth shut.
I think so too.
I think keeping their mouth shut does them more justice. Because the saying goes, no, neighbor, it's better to be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and to confirm it.
Boy.
Right? And when you look at it, so they can't speak about land reformation, they can't speak on housing, they should not even touch healthcare, let alone education and crime. At this critical point, neighbor, these are vital things for the survival of Jamaicans, for the improvement of an economy, and for the development of Jamaica holistically.
Yes.
They have failed in all sectors.
Yes. You're right.
That they can speak.
You are right. Why is it though that I don't know. I don't know. I don't get a chance to browse social media in the days, but are these discussions taking place by the Labour Party? This pushback or what?
Not in the caliber that I expected to be seen, neighbor, and they don't have to come off as strong-willed and passionate as I do or as our programs. But I don't think they're out there tackling it.
Yes,
as they should.
In other words, sorry, Harry. This attractive, seemingly attractive thing about giving 600,000 people quarter 1/8 of an acre of land. The gullible people will think that, well, you know, if the PNP come back to power, then we have land, but it's rubbish. You are saying it's nonsense. That the party should make things like this slip in a civic illiterate society.
It should, neighbor, but they know who they're appealing to. The People's National Party now try to appeal to anybody who uses their brain in a neighbor.
Uh-huh.
Anybody who even attempts to be civic literate and also attempt to be a critical thinker. They don't want that to you.
Uh-huh.
If you attempt to have a conversation with any person from the People's National Party, whether it be a fan, a supporter, a tribalist, even the very high members, after a while, the conversation ends up into them using some very disrespectful and colorful words because they can't hold a conversation. Or the alternative is to tell about Manly. The same set of people who say, why we are talking about the past. Remember those statements in the neighbor?
Uh-huh.
So we're not supposed to look back so far. But that's your go-to card. And it's not even a strong card, it's not even valid to today's day. But you still run for it because you know within yourself you are ashamed and you know that you have nothing tangible, nothing proper to add and no value to add to the conversations. That is the reasons why. And they fall within those specific groups that I speak about. And that is why I when I look at it, neighbor, and I go through, because I take a look into on social media, I go through comments and look at to what the thinking of Jamaicans are.
Yes.
And of course, you'll have the persons, those who are labor rights, you know, standing strong. Those who are tribalists in terms of PNP, standing strong. But I look at what the conversation encompasses around. What is the meat of the matter? Is this conversation going anywhere? Neighbor, sometimes I read through some bad 200 comments just so I can get an
understanding. Absolutely. Me too.
Thinking.
Yes.
And if there's an area that I need to address,